how can we use the buzz? I know you already mentioned there's been a huge amount of media coverage already. So the buzz around COP26 to generate more engagement with climate policy in Scotland. And how do you think, yeah, how can we do that? And what would be the best strategy in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's interesting because I would normally say that climate activism, for example, in the form of the youth climate strikes, protests, or something like that, would be a very clear way, right? You have a major event, creates a groundswell of movement. Um, However, that's less feasible with the pandemic. Although I think it was just yesterday we saw a new announcement that protests are now going to be legal again in the world of coronavirus. So yeah, so I don't know. So maybe there is some hope. That after a year of basically being closed down, sort of mass societal mobilizations, there will be more opportunity for that. I mean, I would say also that you know, so within, there's a question about what's happening within Scotland, about what's happening internationally that will then come to Scotland. So there's been some indication and some research that's been coming out about how climate protest has shifted and changed during the coronavirus pandemic. Some indication that the pandemic has actually expanded international collaboration and activism due to a lot actors being predominantly online, and so collaborations between countries. But I think there's no really good argument for increasing the effectiveness domestically. Although I think we do have enough time now to see, if it's Fridays for Future, if it's Extinction Rebellion, local climate movements coming together to to be in the streets really, and I think that's probably one of the best ways of drawing attention um, to this issue and publicly advocating for climate policy is sort of feet in the streets, and well, I guess we'll have to see what happens with that. I think it's not just about, so there's the buzz around COP26, and so you could try to, one focus is what's going to happen in advance of COP26, right? Do we have mass mobilizations that push and incentivize lawmakers and policymakers in Scotland to push even further and to have more ambitious targets going into COP26? So that's like the pre-conference stuff, and obviously a lot of the decisions about what's going to happen at COP26 are actually made in perhaps a few months in advance of the conference. But then there's also the tail end, what happens after the conference. And so it's not just about what can be done in advance. I expect also that there would be sort of this, maybe you call like a honeymoon window in the few months following COP26, where pressure can be put on the Scottish government to live up to the goals that they articulated during the meeting. And so I think there's a balance there of, it's not let's put everything in. I mean, obviously there's a desire to push the government as far as it'll go, going in and raising ambition as high as it's possible, and finding realistic targets, working with other governments, going into COP26. But you don't. It's not just like everyone collapses and says, okay, we're done, we made it there. I think there is an opportunity domestically, at least, to keep the pressure pushing and make sure that climate plans, energy plans are all very clearly reflecting that ambition that was built up, or that was whatever comes out of COP.